I have a fun book haul today. Lots of exciting books. First up, hot off the press, just out today, the memoir On Scene, and it even has the braille on the cover, by Molly Burke. She is a content creator. She has a YouTube channel that I watch. So I was very excited to get her memoir from social media star and change maker Molly Burke, a vulnerable, honest, and darkly humorous memoir on navigating the challenges of being a blind woman in a sighted world. When Molly Burke was 4 years old, she was diagnosed with I'm probably going to mispronounce this, retinitis pigmentosa. I think that's right. A rare degenerative eye disease that leads to eventual blindness, forcing her to see the world through new eyes, literally. Growing up disabled didn't stop her from playing sports, becoming a rock climbing instructor, or winning a beauty pageant, but other people's narrow perceptions of her held her back. Years of relentless bullying, toxic work environments, and a rodent-infested apartment and life's lowest moments were juxtaposed with red carpets, first-class flights, and personal and professional achievements. Throughout her life, Molly has learned to appreciate the duality, and most importantly, she's learned the beauty of being unapologetically yourself and standing up for what you truly believe in. In Unseen, Molly chronicles her journey as a disabled woman, entrepreneur, and entertainer, illuminating what her experiences have taught her and what she hopes others can learn from her hardship and successes. Part memoir, part rallying cry for a more compassionate and empathetic world. Yes, please. Unseen recounts Molly's life and experiences fighting against the expectations society set for her, and in doing so helps readers find their own voice, inner strength, and self-acceptance. So I'm going to be starting this today. I'm super excited about that. Next up, I have just started this one as well. Usually I read one book at a time, but lots of times I will read both a memoir and fiction at the same time, because for me, I can keep the two stories separate in my head and it doesn't get confusing. For some reason, I can't read two fiction at the same time or I get confused on the storylines. But yes, I started this one yesterday, so I'm in the process of reading this. Love You to Death by Christina Dotson. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. How well do we really know our friends? As Black women crashing an antebellum-themed wedding, Kayla and Zori should have known their heist was doomed from the start. They should never have come. But when their financial situation became dire, they agreed to hit one last wedding. Jaded and cynical, Kayla has spent the last decade trying to fix her life since an angsty teen prank led to her arrest. Now, between her housekeeping job at a subpar hotel and her disappointing Cinderella-esque relationship with her dad and obnoxious stepsister, she hates the life she's built. Her only bright spots are her best friend Zori and their favorite weekend pastime, crashing weddings to steal the money and pawn the gifts. But what started as a lark has evolved into a greedy obsession, making each wedding hall riskier than the last. While trying to avoid the most recent angry bride and groom, Kayla and Zori's getaway takes a gruesome turn, and suddenly the wedding crasher unalivers are national news. The best friends are forced to hit the road to dodge the authorities, but their escape plan leaves behind a bloody trail of destruction from Georgia all the way to the bayou. As past grudges resurface, Kayla realizes that the best friend she thought she knew is more dangerous than she could have ever realized. So, not only does it sound good, but so far it is very good. And then this one sounds good too. I hope it's going to be as fun as it sounds. Fair Play by Louise Hegarty. A group of friends gather at an Airbnb on New Year's Eve. It is Benjamin's birthday, and his sister Abigail is throwing him a jazz-age, unaliving, mystery-themed party. It begins with an M, but you can't say that word on YouTube. As the night plays out, champagne is drunk, hors d'oeuvres consumed, and relationships forged, consolidated, or frayed. Someone kisses the wrong person. Someone else's heart is broken. In the morning, all of them wake up, except Benjamin. As Abigail attempts to wrap her mind around her brother's death, an eminent detective arrives, determined to find Benjamin's killer. In this mansion, suddenly complete with a butler, gardener, and housekeeper, everyone is a suspect. I love these kinds of stories. Oh, I eat it up. This better be good or I'm going to be very disappointed. And nothing is quite as it seems. Will the culprit be revealed? And how can Abigail, now alone, piece herself back together in the wake of this loss? Oh, so excited for that one as well. And by the way, all of these books are brand new. Like, these are very recent releases. They're 14-day books at the library. So, then we have The Strange Case of Jane O by Karen Thompson Walker. A year after her child is born, Jane suffers a series of strange episodes: amnesia, premonitions, hallucinations, and an inexplicable sense of dread. Oh man, that sounds dreadful. 3 days after her first visit to a psychiatrist, Jane suddenly goes missing. A day later, she is found unconscious in Brooklyn's Prospect Park, in the midst of what seems to be an episode of dissociative fugue. Is that how you pronounce that word, fugue? I'm not sure. When she comes to, she has no memory of what has happened to her. Are Jane's strange experiences the result of being overwhelmed by motherhood, or are they manifestations of a long-buried trauma from her past? Why is she having visions of a young man who died 20 years ago and who warns her of a disaster ahead? As Jane's symptoms lead her psychiatrist ever deeper into the furthest reaches of her mind, he begins to question everything he thinks he knows about so-called reality, including events in his own life. So that sounded really intriguing to me. Then we have a memoir. You know I love me some memoirs. Redefining Realness: My Path to Womanhood, Identity, Love, and So Much More by Janet Mock. In 2011, Marie Claire magazine published a profile of Janet Mock in which she stepped forward for the first time as a trans woman. Those 2,300 words were life-altering for the People.com editor, turning her into an influential and outspoken public figure and a desperately needed voice for an often voiceless community. In these pages, she offers a bold and inspiring perspective on being young, multicultural, economically challenged, and transgender in America. Welcomed into the world as her parents' firstborn son, Mock decided early on that she would be her own person no matter what. She struggled as the smart, determined child in a deeply loving yet ill-equipped family that lacked the money, education, and resources necessary to help her thrive. Mock navigated her way through her teen years without parental guidance, but luckily, with the support of a few close friends and mentors, she emerged much stronger, ready to take on and maybe even change the world. This powerful memoir follows Mock's quest for identity, from early unwavering conviction about her gender to a turbulent adolescence in Honolulu that saw her transitioning during the tender years of high school, self-medicating with hormones at 15, and flying across the world alone for sex reassignment surgery at just 18. With unflinching honesty, Mock uses her own experience to impart vital insight about the unique challenges and vulnerabilities of trans youth and brave girls like herself. So that one sounds very good. Then another memoir, The Unbreakable Boy: A Father's Fear, a Son's Courage, and a Story of Unconditional Love. This one has a unfortunately placed sticker on the back, so I can't read all of it, but I will just sum it up. It is about a boy who is diagnosed as autistic and his struggles and the struggles of his father to raise him. I thought it looked good, considering I have a child on the autism spectrum. And then we have another memoir that I thought sounded rather interesting, The End of Normal by Stephanie Madoff Mack. You know, the infamous Madoff Ponzi schemes guy's wife, you know. I can't even imagine what she must have gone through. So I thought that sounded interesting. We'll see. And then Jonathan Van Ness, love that story. Jonathan Van Ness loves getting curious about the world. In his many endeavors, he has showed others how the incredibly difficult moments from his life, surviving abuse. Again, you can't say that word on, I'm not even sure if you can say the A word on here. I think somebody got, their video got, I forget what you call it. A strike, yes. If you get 3 strikes, they delete your channel. So I have to be very careful what words I say on here. Have existed alongside great joy and positivity, landing a breakout role on Netflix Queer Eye, becoming an amateur figure skater and professional stand-up comedian, doting on his 5 cats. I love it. If Jonathan has learned anything from those difficult moments, it's that in order to thrive, he needed to push past the shame and fear of being his true self, which meant getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I think that sounds very good as well. And then the title grabbed me on this memoir, The Bear in the Attic by Patrick F. McManus. I mean, really, how can you not pick that up? Patrick McManus' wry wit has made him an American classic. His trademark outdoorsman's humor endearing him not only to fellow wilderness enthusiasts, but to anyone who enjoys humor and can bear witness to the antics and anecdotes McManus recounts. In his newest collection of hilarious essays, he ponders the strange allure of the RV. Not to me. RVs have never had an allure to me. Hate 'em. A 30th century hunting trip, the art of wrestling toads, the existential implications of being lost, the baffling tendency of animals to outsmart those who wish to hunt them, the singular pleasure of doubling the size of every fish one doesn't catch, and what happens when a bear named Pookie decides to hibernate in the attic. So we'll see. And then David Sedaris, Happy Go Lucky. He's a famous comedian. I thought I'd give that a try. I enjoy comedian memoirs usually. They're pretty funny. So there you go. That's my book haul. Let me know if you've read any of these books or if you want to read any of these books. Help me out. Give me a like, comment, and subscribe so my video reaches people. And I will see you all next time. Bye.